How's it going, y'all? Darby here with Gen University, and in this video, you're going to be watching a replay from a summit that I put a demonstration on with Jay Williams from the AI Advantage on implementing the $100 million offers and leads workflows using AI based off of Alex Hormozi's books to help you with brainstorming your offers and taking in audience feedback and crafting offers and messaging that's going to speak directly to your ideal target audience. So hope you find the video valuable and useful for practical application of AI integration into your business. Let me know how you find this content below in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up as well. All right, let's dig in.
Hey Jay, so our next speaker, I'm not sure. Can we hear you okay, Darby? I think you were speaking.
Test.
Yeah, we're good. We're hot to trot, as we would say here in the UK. So let me just tell you a little bit about Darby before we bring him up here. So Darby is someone who he immediately got my attention when I found out he was the first ever user of Jasper AI. And that was naturally intriguing to me. And so that suggested to me, well, this must be a guy who's been in the AI space for some time. And so Darby is someone who is an entrepreneur. He's also a pioneer in applying generative AI to business and business growth. And Darby started something called the Gen AI University to empower entrepreneurs to harness generative AI through hands-on education. And today he's here to talk to us about implementing $100 million offers and $100 million leads 10 times faster. If you don't know what that is, if you've never heard of Alex Hormozi, it's his book, which is probably one of the best books you can read right now. There we go, $100 million offers. So if you are a coach, consultant, author, someone who's selling anything, then his books and his work is world-class and the kind of gold standard right now. And me and Darby, when we spoke, we really wanted to dive into this of how you can take the expertise of someone who's just got a wealth of knowledge and apply it using AI tools. First of all, though, Darby, good to see you.
Great to see you, Jay. Thanks so much for having me here and putting this event on. Excited to share this with you guys.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, and we had your partner in crime on earlier, Kelly, absolutely rocking it, and people absolutely loved that. Her business partner, I say, not partner, as in your intimate partner. So Darby, just give people a little bit more of an in-depth snapshot of your journey into the world of AI, of how you came to be doing what you're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the elevator overview of my journey into AI was running an e-commerce consulting agency, helping Amazon sellers sell more products on Amazon for several years, leading up to 2020, 2021, and those events that opened up Jasper AI and what generative AI technology was going to quickly evolve into. And now we've seen ChatGPT, and we've seen all these additional innovations with this technology, and it's happening so fast. And so that's ultimately what brought me and our team and our community together to form Gen AI University, which is our platform for hosting events, community training, education, and that peer-to-peer learning environment where we could learn about what's happening and working right now with AI and putting these cutting edge tools and different technologies to work for us in our business rather than be overwhelmed and not sure where to put these things into place. And so that's where these workflows that I'm going to demonstrate for you today come from, is in helping people implement things like books, such as $100 million offers, $100 million leads. Question I want to ask everybody here before we dive in is, how many of us have bought a book and we bought the book because we're like, this is a great idea. I love the idea behind it, and the author's so smart, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it, and it's going to make my business grow, and I'm going to get all the value from the book. And then you end up not ever reading the book because it just sits there in your bookshelf, or you spend hours and hours and hours digging through the book to only find that, okay, now I have to actually go and do this stuff and do everything that the author is teaching me. Well, if that sounds like you, if any of you guys have gone through the process of buying a book and getting stuck on the implementation, then AI is a fantastic tool for identifying those really key points within either operationally or putting marketing or different pieces of content and connecting the dots within your business to helping you move the needle forward in so many different ways beyond just what we're going to demonstrate here today. And so ultimately, I want you to walk away with two things from this demonstration. Is one is seeing how dead simple it is to copy, paste, and then just add your own business information in to run both of these workflows based on Alex Hormozi's book. Highly recommend going through and reading both of the books too, so you have like Alex's perspective over your shoulder, and so you can see how these things all tie together. The second thing is how in your own business could a workflow like we're going to demonstrate today be built to help you with accomplishing something that you're looking to achieve with AI, whether it's from operations and customer support to training your team to creating more ads for your business or any number of things. Just be thinking about other ways that you can apply AI, knowing that what we're going to demonstrate here is possible, and helping you guys go out and refine your offer and get more leads with that offer. So, Jay, that's, I guess, a little bit longer than just an elevator pitch, but I want to give some context for what we're going to be jumping into and what everyone's going to have access to.
Yeah, I love it, Darby. And I think because I really want to be intentional with your time today and getting the most out of this, because I know this does take a little bit of time. So I'm happy for you to share screen and jump right into it.
All right, I'm going to share screen as I'm dropping this link so you guys can go and you could follow along, but I would recommend watching how I go through this workflow right now and then spending some time after you get settled back in from the day to going and playing around with this workflow. There's two tools I would recommend testing this workflow out in. One is ChatGPT, of course, and the other is a tool called Claude, which we won't get into a bunch of detail with today. But ultimately, what we want to do with this particular workflow is accomplish two things. One is helping generate our $100 million offer for a product. And then we're going to have the second aspect of it is the $100 million lead. So when you go to this, it's all available for free, no opt-in even required on our blog. You'll see two different workflows here. One is the start here. And this is going to be the context that we're going to provide AI to give us the following output. And so the context I've provided from this first book is for a board game that I'm a part of called SideHustle. It's a party game for entrepreneurs, and I've given it all of the information about this game. Cards, pain points is boredom, need for laugh, niche is group gameplay, creativity and humor, and just information about my product. And now once we've got this information, then you want to go back down here and paste in the $100 million offer workflow. And what this is going to do, I'm going to walk you guys through this verbally and then demonstrate it, is each one of these prompts that we're going to be executing can be ran individually within ChatGPT, but you can also run them all at once. And each of these prompts is going to help with articulating Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offers, with the context of your business and what you've given it. And so I'm going to do two things right here. This is section one. We're going to do the same thing for section two for $100 million leads, but we want to have the offer first before we start creating all the content that we're going to be driving leads towards. And so we'll start with the offer. And when you start with this offer, I'm going to simply go and copy and paste that part one all the way down to the execution right here and tab over to my ChatGPT. Inside of ChatGPT, I recommend using GPT-4. I can paste what I just copied right here and shift enter to give a little bit of space to then, again, spend the time to go and answer each one of these questions for your brand. What's the business name? What do you offer? Who's your avatar? Like who is your brand really targeting? Copy and paste that information or this template right here, change it out with any of the information about your brand that you have right out the gate. And from that point, you simply click enter. Now, the reason you want to spend the time on the content brief and that context that we provided above is because that is going to have a huge impact in directing the AI at what it's going to be focusing on. So, for example, part one, identifying the best market or niche. So you can see ChatGPT is going down top to bottom, part one. Okay, the target market's families, friends, and colleagues with the pain point of boredom. So criteria for the market, it's going through the criteria we've fed it. The board game market is expanding. Okay, so at least we know that this is going to be a market that has people that are going to be buying it. It's growing. Okay, that makes sense, right? This is the first thing Alex covers in $100 million offers. So now we get down more and more. And the reason I I said that you could use this individually for each of these prompts, or you can do it like you see me doing here. So sometimes you might want to get part 1 down, and then you might want to rerun part 2 and then part 3 several times to make sure that market, niche, educational entrepreneur games, sub niche, games promoting creativity and humor, quick engaging group games for entertainment. If I reran this, I could get a different niche that ChatGPT has identified might be a good niche for me. And so what you'll find is you run this workflow several times, you'll get some different insights or perspectives that you might not have considered maybe for your business or your product or your service. And so using this workflow as a way to brainstorm that offer very, very quickly, as opposed to before using this workflow, it might take you a lot more time to put each individual, like each section of this offer together. This is using AI to help with accelerate that brainstorming process. And, again, in a collaborative nature here, we are providing our inputs as the user. The AI and all the prompts are designed to analyze those inputs about our business and then help with creating all the different elements inside of this $100 million offer, that it's now the human's decision to say, hey, this is a great offer. I really like the pricing. We've already given it that information. I really like the education and entrepreneurial game niche. That's great. If you don't like it, that's totally fine too, right? AI is not going to get upset if you ask it to rerun this again and get a different perspective on it. And so, again, this is like an active brainstorm with developing that $100 million offer that, again, you want to have that locked in before you go and start messaging 100 people in your network every single day to say, hey, do you know anyone that's interested in this offer if you don't have an offer, right? So start with that offer first, and keep in mind that a lot of the ideas that you might come away from this particular, what it's generating for each section of this offer, might suggest things like lead magnets. It might suggest ideas that you could update your website for to hit on different pain points or desires, or add additional bonuses onto your product that you might not have considered before. And the great thing with all of that is that you can use AI for helping to create a lot of that additional products too. And so, again, as you want to run this and regenerate it, you would simply just refresh. If you don't like the outputs, you could run each one of the sections from this workflow individually. So if you had your context and you just wanted to identify the niche in the market, you could start with just copying and pasting these. And so that is how you go through the $100 million offers workflow. Again, doing it in line with the book so that you have a deeper understanding as to which section right here. But before we go on to the $100 million leads, Jay, are you seeing how this workflow is unfolding? Any questions in the comments or anything before we move on to section 2?
Yeah, this is absolute gold. And just to ground people in this, just in case you've never read the book or you're not really sure what is going on right now, Alex Hormozi says, you want to make people an offer. So it doesn't matter what your product offering or service is. You want to make people an offer so good they feel stupid saying no. And in the book, he helps you to understand all of the different components that make a great offer. For example, we had Amber on before, and she was talking to the dream outcome. That's one of the components that he talks about. So being clear on dream outcome. I think another one was perceived likelihood of achievement. I think that's the second one. The third one is time to get the result. And Darby, fill me in. I think it's perceived effort, how hard it's going to be to actually get that result. And so having this prompt that Darby's showing here is really doing all of that for you. So absolutely go and read the book to get a little bit more context. But if you follow the prompts and the guides that Darby just gave you, there's no reason why you can't create an extraordinary offer. And when you do that, people will be hungry to buy what you are actually sharing with them, or selling, if you want to call it that. So yeah. And then the next thing, of course, is $100 million leads. So now we have a great offer. Well, everybody here wants more leads. I'm sure they need to have people that want what they have to offer. So Darby, I'll hand it back over to you so you can show them how to implement this strategy into their business.
Totally. And so as we finish up with this $100 million offer, again, it's, improving your offer and spending time making it better. So you're serving and helping more people that your offer is designed to serve and, get results. And this is one of the most leveraged and most impactful things you can be doing on your business. And so this is something that you continuously come back for, continuously refine and improve on. And as you're doing that, I'd recommend having a Google document at least that's like, hey, this is like the most recent, this is the truth of what our offers are, because then you could just reuse that again and again to make sure the AI actually understands everything that's in your offer, because you're providing that context beforehand. Once you've got that $100 million offer, we're going to move on down to section 2, which is the $100 million leads workflow. So again, you got a great offer, and now you need to start having conversations with people and building that roadmap to getting people into your offer and doing that. And so again, going through the $100 million leads book that Alex Hormozi has recently released is going to walk through obviously a lot more of the weeds of going about each section of this. But this whole recipe here is designed to take that offer and then give you kind of that starting point where you can jump off. You can have content that you are creating and sending out that's in line with that offer that you're inviting people to. And so context above, I'm just going to tell, yeah, what's up?
I was just going to say, while you're typing that, Darby, just let me know in the chat, how are you getting leads for your business right now? Because I think that'll be really helpful. Because in the book, he dives into different ways to generate leads: warm traffic, cold traffic, paid advertising, referral traffic. I just want to see how everybody else is getting leads.
Yeah, so a few referrals, outreach, and that's perfect for this, right? I mean, especially if you have referrals already, you need whether it's your referrals in your warm network. If you've got no leads, then you know that there's lots of people out there that you could be reaching out to, but also just generally, as Alex says, is like, you might know people that will know people that would be a good fit for this. And so there's a few ways to start, and even just testing. If you have 0 leads, you need a lead magnet. So I've made this prompt to say like, hey, what are some ways that we could generate effective lead magnets, right? Get people to raise their hand and opt in and show their interest, right? AI powered strategy simulator. So this is for SideHustle still. And so it's saying creative challenge ebook, exclusive online workshop for creativity and entrepreneurship. And so I like the AI powered strategy simulator. So maybe we could create our own version of GPT that's an AI powered strategy simulator that has the SideHustle branding on it, and it helps people come up with different AI brainstorming. Oh, and by the way, we have a physical game that you could buy on Amazon. Okay, I'll buy that, right? One example, e-commerce related, but very easy to make AI lead magnets nowadays that are really effective and really focused. Going down on through the outputs here, we got our outreach message. So, hey, again, this is like, it's like 80% of the way there. Like maybe it's a simple outreach message. I wouldn't really start. I hope this message finds you in the midst of a great day. Like I wouldn't say that. All right. Like this is like a place for me to edit it and get it to that final piece, and then modify it and personalize it and do whatever else.
What would you say there, Darby? Just curious how you'd approach that.
I mean, hey, unleash your entrepreneurial spirit with SideHustle, as I might change the subject line to be more like question based, or more like, hey, like, are you like bored on game nights with your entrepreneur friends? Like if I'm reading this, but this is going to give me that starting point. And then I might say like, hey, like saw you like board games, but like maybe like your last game night wasn't everything you wanted it to be. Like, I think SideHustle might be a good fit for helping kind of bring people together. Right. And so like, I see it, I'm like, okay, that's kind of canned. I can modify it a little bit, put my own twist on it, and then add any personalization up here, and I've got a message right away, right? Again, there's a lot of ways that you could go about writing that initial outreach message, and I'm not going to assume anything on my end. Like, test it, right? You'll find which messages people are going to be responding back to more, and so, again, this is getting you that starting point to get the messages out there, building trust with messaging statements through follow-up email sequences. A lot of these are just different pieces of things that you need in terms of an asset or as a reference point from the $100 million leads book, so that you have this in your in your tool belt and you can pull it out, right? Go trust with bringing families and friends closer through creativity and laughter, right? These could all be headlines that we're testing, email subject lines, things that are relevant to our target audience and the game. Referral requests, love SideHustle, share with a friend. So we would send this to someone who's bought a game or pre-ordered one, as you can right now. Your friends deserve some laughter too. Refer to them, SideHustle, right? So some prompting messages that could use like, hey, like you bought the game. Do you know anyone that would be interested? Here, formats for content, right? So we could create interactive quizzes to engage with our customers, right? And like a lot of this is still going to be kind of like that outline, that roadmap of like strategy of what you can do. Obviously, there's still an execution piece to this. And so I'm looking at the $100 million offer plus the $100 million leads as a way to give me that kind of like, okay, well, I've got the offer. I've got 80% of the assets that I would need to just refine and get to that last point. Now, there's still going to be some sweat equity if I'm doing cold manual outreach. For things like this, there's still going to be some, maybe I want to use AI to create some blogs here to turn the long form content listicle, 10 surprising skills you can gain from playing SideHustle, right? That might take me 5-10 minutes to get a quick listicle post up for, but could be a really valuable blog post to have on our website and send people back to who are interested in the game. Promotional statements, building customer contact lists. And so it's brainstorming some ideas. So board game forums, right? Social media hashtags to find relevant for the game, event attendee lists, and then it's going in through some cold outreach. And so general like email marketing, social media ads is like where most people are probably going to start, especially for an e-commerce product like this. But if I'm selling business to business executive coaching, like more than likely ChatGPT is going to be like, you probably should be on LinkedIn or in some of these more like executive level masterminds, maybe. And like the strategy is going to be different depending on who you're targeting. And so again, as you kind of continue running the outputs here, you see things like Facebook ad copy, right? This is the problem agitate solution, sort of framework, AIDA, and just some places to start for getting like leads. And again, you need content, you need to be engaging and reaching out to people who, could potentially be a good fit for your product or service. And so this section of our combination of these two workflows helps walk through, again, $100 million leads all the way down through kind of like these like different roadmap. Friends know about your offer, part 1, maximize the personal outreach, part 2. Then you're going on to hiring a team, focusing on product and referrals, adding new platforms, hiring executive. Cool. Like it's going to take a lot of work for us to get to this product being $100 million in revenue. Nowhere near that right now. But, if we don't get our initial referrals and our initial like messaging on point where people can get the message and then go and buy and take care of at least buying the product. Again, this product's been in development. We've kickstarted it. We've sold through 1,000 units of them, given them out. And now we're ordering the second batch of it. And so, this is one of those things where I've ran this particular series of $100 million offer plus leads numbers and numbers of times. And as we've refined the product, we're refining the messaging. And so this is really a living sort of process that we're going through. And it changes as 2 years ago, 3 years ago in the pandemic, it would have been like we created literally a digital version of the game because people like we couldn't order new versions of the physical game. People couldn't even play in person. We ended up making a digital version, which you can now play for free on our site, right? That took time to make, but now that's a really valuable bonus onto the gameplay experience that we're building into this offer. And so that's just my personal like use case and experience with this game, something like this. Hopefully you can see how whatever product or service you have, whether it's agency services, you got an e-commerce product, you're consulting, whatever it is, there's a number of different ways that you could utilize positioning and crafting your offer and messaging to just be more effective and more targeted depending on who you're speaking to. And hopefully these workflows can help you get there a little bit faster. And this could absolutely be a custom GPT. I just haven't had time to turn these into that just yet. So
there is a Hormozi GPT out there. I'll probably put it in the links if people are interested in the Hormozi GPT. Someone's already created one. So I'll pop that in the document that Rebecca will share with you all if you want to check that out. And by the way, what Darby's done here is absolutely, it's just so smart. And I want you to all see the thinking behind this as well. So Darby's essentially created, it's a version of a GPT as a prompt, right? Like he said, he hasn't done it yet, but you've basically taken some expertise and you've created something valuable for someone. And I'm sure, Darby, you use this to generate leads as well into your business. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. But my mind goes to, okay, every one of you has a business right now. Every one of you has access to AI. And every one of you can create something valuable that will help your target market. And this could be as simple as a prompt or a GPT. And you'll hear a bit more about that later, that you could use to generate leads. So for example, I created a GPT for coaches. It's called Emotional Resilience Coach. Right. And I can import all of my coaching frameworks into there and how I coach people so that people can get tap access to me. So if they're ever in doubt about whether they want to work with me, if their coach helps them a little bit, right, my GPT, then guess what? They're going to be more likely to go, wow, Jay stuff really works. I'm going to come and spend some more time with him. So I just wanted to see the intelligence behind what Darby's doing there and the thinking with this kind of prompt as well by leveraging not even his own specific knowledge. So it's genius.
Yeah, I think like one takeaway for anyone that like can see this one example, and I see the comment here about doing the same for like the 12-week yearbook, right? I mean, yeah. AI is fantastic at following frameworks as you give it those kind of guardrails to keep it going a specific direction. GPTs are making it easier for us to kind of replicate those frameworks. I've got a few that I've been making that break down transcripts to like executive notes and like smaller pieces of content. You could take the concepts from the 12-week year, create a GPT and say like, here's my business. This is what our goals are. Can you understand what this, again, like you have to supply it with the information and the context, but you can do this for not just books, but for any sort of operational workflow within a business, whether it's, sales, marketing, writing, education, operations. You might find some difference in lingo right now because GPTs are now on the market that might dominate the conversation. I'm not sure yet. What I might say workflow or prompt stack or recipe, like basically means just like, here's like what instructions you could give a GPT to accomplish something like this, right? The GPT, you're giving it the series of instructions, follow this around top to finish and help me accomplish this particular task much, much faster. And the world is your oyster at that point. You can go and create these your own. You can, experiment with them and see, how can you get these tools to work for you? But always start with that end in mind so that you know where you want the AI to go and you could guide it there as quickly and effectively as possible. And now you could just use AI to help you with creating these GPTs too. So really, really some cool stuff that we're seeing just 1 year into ChatGPT, being around.
It's so exciting, Darby. And I think you touched on it a little bit there about this is about 80% there when the results. And I think what's really important for me personally to get across along with this type of topic is, it's going to do some of the heavy lifting for you, but you have to go out and use it and practice it, right? So for example, I know I could use $100 million leads or $100 million offers, and especially the offers one, I use that in my existing Unstoppable Entrepreneur program, right? My offering there. Now, I had an offering and I started getting sales calls with people and offering him what I was doing. And then what was happening is I was getting certain objections. Now, the only way I would have found out what those objections was by digging into what the objections were, right? Whereas ChatGPT may have come up with that stuff, but it probably wouldn't have. And so the point you made about refining messaging, refining offering, I think it's important for people to get that you have to input. I know it sounds silly to say, but you have to practice it to get the refinement. ChatGPT will do some of the heavy lifting. You need to get out there and have real conversations with people and try this stuff out. And that's the big thing I say to all my clients is the thing that makes me good at what I do is I just try shit. I don't know with certainty if every single thing is going to work. 8 out of 10 things don't. But the 2 things that do, I drill them, refine them, and make them better and do more of them. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you got anything to say about that, Darby.
No, I think like you're like taking the existing sales calls, objections, and real world problems and conversations that you're having right now is a way to like really leverage this technology a lot more than probably like the average person approaching it. Like, give me all the information in the world I want. Well, it's going to give you some very generalized stuff because everybody's asking it the same questions, right? But if you have research, audio transcripts, conversations, all of this information, you can compile that, upload it into a document into the same thread that we saw here, analyze this information related to my product, my service, and we need to now brainstorm ways to make an offer that addresses all the objections and that sort of thing. And like, it's amazing the insights that you can pull out of your existing content to then go and refine what you're already delivering and deliver that much better of an experience.
Yeah, 100%. This has been great, Darby. I know you have a free gift that you want to share with people. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I think that was just going to be the blog post for everybody.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
I haven't had time to. I wanted to get time for it, but I just hadn't had time since the last week and right now for making a GPT of this. But anyone that signs up for our newsletter will get a lot of these GPTs as we develop them. But this right now, you guys can take it, run with it. Definitely get the books if you haven't already gotten them. But those are 100% you guys.
Brilliant. Well, Darby, it's been great having you on here. I'm sure people have loved it. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big round of applause. Show him some love in the chat. Let us know. What did you think about that? Did you even enjoy it? Did you go, oh my God, that just hurt my head moving so fast? Let us know in the chat so Darby can just get some good feedback. Darby, thanks for being here. And yeah, hopefully people enjoy this one.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jay, and everyone for being here. Enjoy the rest of the events, and we'll chat with you guys later.
Cheers, Darby.
Cheers.